Ladies and gents, welcome to UX, and this is Anger Issues and Fried Chicken, the life of Colonel Sanders, KFC guy. Yeah, I remember South Park episode about how Cartman was going crazy about Colonel and he met Colonel. I'm pretty sure that was the episode. It was a long time ago. But yeah, South Park is the one thing I remember. But yeah, KFC is big chain. Even where I live, there is like in India, there's many places where the KFC is. So yeah, I guess Colonel Sanders was some badass. This is from the Fat Files channel where he usually talks about American businesses, not military. So yeah, let's do this one.
Nothing that is going to prepare you for how crazy this story actually is. Today we're talking about Colonel Sanders, yes, the KFC guy. Okay, according to a 2010 study, only 40% of Americans between the ages of 19 and 25 knew that Colonel Sanders was a real person, and even less people know that he was a complete gangster his entire life. Okay, most people don't realize this, but the sweet elderly Southern gentleman from the KFC logo didn't start selling Kentucky Fried Chicken till he was 66 years old. Prior to that, he had done every job under the sun. He worked for the railroad. He used to be a lawyer until he lost his law license for beating up his own clients in open court. He used to be involved in turf wars with bootleggers and oil companies during the Great Depression. He has been in, won, and is undefeated in gunfights. He is a notorious adulterer that once bragged that he was still getting laid at 83 years old. This dude cussed so much that KFC had to heavily edit every TV and radio ad spot he ever did.
Go f yourself, San Diego. Nice work, everyone.
And I could keep going, but we're going to cover all of it in the story right after a word from our sponsor.
All right, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see he was that kind of a badass. From being a lawyer to beating a client and everything. All right, even the shooting, why not? At the time where, I guess, like duels were a thing. So, okay.
Sponsor.
Delete me. Can you settle a debate?
What? Which 9mm better?
Yeah.
Neither. There's a third option.
Oh. Didn't know you were packing.
No respect for the classics. All right, here's the deal. Super simple, straightforward business model. You give them money, they turn around and make
Yep, I'll go to original video page link and from there support this channel.
link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. Our story begins on September 9th, 1890 in Henryville, Indiana, when a young Harlan Sanders is born on a farm. He is the oldest of 3 siblings, and like pretty much every other story I've ever told of somebody that was born in the 18 or 1900s, he had a really rough childhood with a lot of manual labor, just wasn't a good time all around. At the age of 5 years old, his father passes away, and his mother has to step up and be the breadwinner for the whole family, so she's always gone working at a factory in town.
Yeah, he started to hunt, and he had one bad eye. Wait a minute, wrong channel. All right.
And 5-year-old Harlan basically has to raise his younger siblings by himself, literally starts cooking all the food for the family at 5 years old. Fast forward, he's 12 years old. Harlan's mother finds a new husband. They get married. Harlan and the stepdad do not get along whatsoever. Shortly after this, he leaves home at the age of 12. For the next 4 years, he just kind of bums around the area, working on farms, doing manual labor jobs.
12?
And then at the age of 16, he falsifies his birth certificate to join the army, gets in, deploys to Cuba, serves his entire enlistment, and then comes back home. While in the army, he picks up the habit of, as he puts it, cussing like a sailor, using excessive profanity. People later in his life said he couldn't go a single sentence without including the term goddamn. In his own autobiography, he said, and I quote, "I used to cuss the prettiest you ever heard." So 18 years old, goes back home, gets a job with the railroad, starts traveling all over the country, working for the railroad. While he's on the road, he meets a woman by the name of Josephine King. They wind up getting married, start having kids. So Josephine's back home with the kids. He's still working with the railroad. Obviously, he's gone a lot. And while he's gone, he decides he's gonna cheat on his wife. Like, a lot, or as he referred to it as tomcatting. So he's going all over the country just slinging, which is foreshadowing at its finest. Okay, not great, but that's what happened, and it also gets worse. He also got fired from different jobs at different railroads a lot. Sometimes he was working for the railroad, sometimes he was like a traveling door-to-door salesman. He just kept bouncing from job to job to job because he had a humongous anger problem and was always getting in fistfights and beating the shit out of people.
That is correct. The medulla oblongata.
But Mama
The
said...
medulla oblongata is where anger, jealousy, and aggression come from.
After a while, his wife Josephine, understandably so, is fed up with his shit, and she decides while he's on the road, she's gonna leave him. He's lost his job too many times, he's cheating on her, she's out. She gives up the house, she sells all the furniture, she takes the kids, and moves back home with her parents. And Harland is awkwardly pissed off about the furniture. Like, he's mad about the kids too, but he's very upset about the furniture for some reason. Like, in his autobiography, he says, and I quote, "That hurt me. I figured she didn't have any right to take my children or give away my furniture." He is equally as concerned about the furniture as he is about the kids, which
That could be like cars. Like in today's terms, that would be cars. Wait, she got my BMW. Like, she doesn't even drive type of shit. That could be one of those, like, yeah, I bought that furniture by penny by whatever. Like, something like that. I don't know.
I don't understand, but whatever. And it's probably because the furniture's gone. She gave it away. There's nothing he can ever do to get his precious furniture back. The kids, on the other hand, she still has the kids. They're at Grandma and Grandpa's house living with Josephine. He could still do something about that. So like a rational adult, he decides he's gonna go to court and fight for custody of his kids. No, I'm just kidding. He concocts a plan where he's gonna go wait in the woods outside of Grandma and Grandpa's house, and he's going to kidnap the kids.
That's a terrible
Obviously.
idea.
Again, in his own words, although I didn't consider it rightly kidnapping since they was mine. So he heads over to Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Wait a minute, would that count as a kidnapping? Like, court hasn't decided who can keep the children, right? What was the laws back then about children? How old was the children? What is it, like if they're like 2-3 years or younger, mother gets custody, but even then you have to go through court, right? I don't know.
House, hiding in the woods in a pile of leaves, waiting for the kids to come outside to play. He's then gonna snatch up the kids, take them to the train station, and bounce. This is the early 1900s. They're never gonna catch him. So he's out in the woods, laying in this pile of leaves, waiting for the kids to come out to play, and he's just waiting, and he's waiting, and then eventually the sun comes up. It's Kentucky, it's summertime, it starts getting hot, he starts getting sweaty, there's flies buzzing around, and after hours of waiting, the kids still haven't come out. He's like, okay, this isn't gonna fucking work. So he decides he's just gonna go up to the door and knock. Goes up to the door, knocks on the door. His father-in-law answers the door and just says, "Howdy, Harland," and invites him in because, you know, it's the father of his children. Why wouldn't you do that? He has no idea the guy was just planning to kidnap his grandkid.
Oh my, this is South Park. Intensifying music, all the movie theatric shit, and there's normal starts. Oh, hello, come back, come inside, have a biscuit, and everybody just like, that's white pants short of the, living room, and they're just eating biscuits and talking. So how you been?
Kids. Harland, his father, and Josephine then proceed to sit down in the living room and have awkward small talk for a little while. And he just gets up eventually and is like, I guess I'm gonna go. And Josephine is like, where are you going? And he's like, I found a new job in Illinois working for the rail company. I'm gonna head out there. And she goes, no, I think you better stay with me. And that was it. They stayed married for another 37 years. Now he's got his family back, I guess.
What the fuck was that? Okay, well, I think what happened there was she was seeing if he cared about kids or her at all, if he would actually come after her. And once he did, and they started to talk, and she's like, she probably decided like, yeah, okay, this is good enough or something. I don't know, because I don't know how else to explain that.
Oh, okay. You had me going there for the first part. The second half kind of threw me.
Absolutely zero life lessons learned, keeps cussing, keeps fighting, keeps cheating on his wife, goes back to working for the railroad. Eventually, he decides he wants to better himself, he wants to get a better career, make more money for his family, the whole 9 yards, so he starts studying to become a lawyer via correspondence, basically taking college classes through the mail. Think of it as like antique version of online schooling. That's what he does. Winds up studying to become a lawyer through correspondence, passes the bar, and becomes a lawyer. Does that for a little while, has a pretty successful law career spooling up, and then one day, in open court, his temper gets the better of him.
The medulla oblongata.
We don't know the exact context of what happened, but every account of what happened has a chair involved. Some accounts say that his own client attacked him with a chair. Some accounts say it was the other way around and he beat the shit out of his client with a chair. Either way, he turned the open courtroom into a WWE match. Because of this, he obviously loses his law license and goes back to job hopping. So he's a door-to-door salesman for insurance, and then after that, he decides he wants to be an entrepreneur.
again, like I still, what must have happened that he turned the tables on his client? Probably told him like, "Oh, you suck as a lawyer" or something, and he just lost it. I don't know. I would say like maybe the client was really fucked up. If that's the case, why would he accept him as a client? So it must have been something he said or something. I don't know. Imagine after that he just looks at the judge. Will I be able to keep practicing? And he's like, "No, man, no, of course not."
So he spools up an illegal ferrying operation across the Ohio River. The police eventually put a kibosh to that, so then he goes to work for Michelin Tire, being a tire salesman. And finally, that goes good. That's going great. The dude can sell tires like a motherfucker. He works his way up from being a salesman to like the regional director for the entire tri-state area that he's in, and he's like one of the big wigs at Michelin Tire. But then karma finally catches up to him, and we kick off the lifelong saga of karma desperately trying to put Harlan Sanders, this madman, in his place, and Harlan Sanders just adamantly refusing. One day, he's driving his Model T with Michelin tires across the bridge, and the fucking bridge collapses, totaling his car. And at this point in time, he doesn't have enough money to buy a new car, so Michelin Tires fires him because you can't work for Michelin Tires as a tire salesman if you're not using Michelin tires, which is kind of fucked up, but also like there's no Amish electricians, so I get it.
Oh, right, because I'm Amish, so I wouldn't know anything about your 69 GTO Judge. 455 big block, Ram Air, 411 Posi, something like that? Weird, that thing must have fallen straight from space. Well, good luck with your future ride, spaceman.
So he takes what money he
What just happened? So he totaled his Model T and he can't buy a new car, so Michelin fires him, but he doesn't have a car. It's not like he used some other tire. So in order to be a Michelin employee, you have to have a car. It's like an expensive thing, isn't it? Like you want a job here, want to make money, but first you have to buy a car. Like back then, buying a car, I mean, come on.
does have, and he starts a acetylene lamp business. Gotta remember, this is like 1820s. Not everybody has electricity in their house with light bulbs, so people are using these little gas lamps to, you know, put on the table to be able to see at night. He starts a business making those. Very quickly, electricity becomes readily available, puts him out of business. Karma is just trying to shut this guy down. So he decides, all right, I'm gonna have to go to the next big town over. I'm gonna have to go get a job, don't have a car, I'm broke. So he hitchhikes to Louisville, Kentucky, and the first car to pick him up tells him his life story, and the guy's like, I actually own a gas station and I'm looking for somebody to run it for me. You think you can do it? And Harlan Sanders is like, sure, why not? So he takes over this gas station, starts running it. Somewhere along the line, he comes up with the idea of like, hey, I could be more competitive and I could get all the business from all the truckers if I start selling food at my gas station. So he already likes cooking food, and that's what he does. He starts making food, selling it at his gas station, and then he gets all the trucker business as well. The gas station is outrageously successful.
Oh, love that. He's running it for someone. Like, does he share the profit? Why does he care that much if that's the case?
Karma kicks in again. The Great Depression happens, shuts this small gas station down, puts him out of business. From here, Shell Oil Company reaches out to him and is like, hey, we knew you were super successful at running this other gas station in a small town in Kentucky. We have another gas station that's right on the main highway that's gonna be able to stay open during the Great Depression because it gets all this traffic from the highway. We want you to run it. Harlan Sanders takes the job. So he moves out to Corbin, Kentucky, where this gas station is. And
all right. First of all, understand this. Companies are chasing him. He's not going for the job. Company, oh, by the way, do you want this job? Companies are coming towards him. This is already a sign of man who's going to be very successful soon. Come on.
This place is super ghetto. It's literally nicknamed Hell's Half Acre. You gotta remember, this is the Great Depression. Everybody's poor. Poor people commit crime to feed their kids. So you got that going on. On top of that, you've got Prohibition. This is right by the highway. All the bootleggers are running their booze through this area. There's all kinds of crime. So he takes over this gas station, starts selling gas, starts selling food, but he needs people to know that there's food around. So he starts putting up signs and everything saying like, hey, we're a gas station that also serves food. This is Kentucky in like like 1930 whatever the fuck, and people just love shooting at signs, I guess. And it gets so bad that you can't even read the signs because there's so many bullet holes in them. So he comes up with an alternative idea of he goes to all of the farmers in like a 50-mile radius and pays them to be able to paint a big advertisement on the side of their barn, because people aren't going to be shooting at a farmer's barn because they could hit somebody or hit an animal, or a farmer's going to come out with a shotgun and fucking shoot you back. And it's a brilliant idea, and it's working really, really good. And it starts cutting into the other rival gas station's business, and that gas station is owned by a guy by a name of Matt Stewart, and he's pissed off about it. So he goes around and starts painting over Harlan's barn signs. Harlan finds out about this, so like an adult with a cool, rational head, goes over to Stewart's gas station and very politely tells him to stop, or, and I quote, "I'll blow your fucking head off."
Wow.
Okay, Harlan Sanders is not
Very
going to
wrestling.
tolerate people messing with his money.
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
A couple weeks later, Harlan's got a big day. Some Shell oil executives, 2 of them, are coming to town to have a meeting with Harlan about how well his gas station is performing. And while they're sitting in the gas station having a meeting, talking about how great of a job Harlan's doing, one of the employees comes in and lets him know, hey, Matt Stewart is out on the side of the road right now painting over one of your advertisements.
He's a motherfucker, just stands up and Shell executives like, what is happening? Why did we come here?
On farmer so-and-so's barn. At which point, Harlan says, I told that motherfucker what I was gonna do, so he grabs his gun. The Shell oil executives also grab guns, and they go out.
I'm just picturing the scene. I was like, motherfucker, I told him to both Shell executives also pull out their gun. Yeah, who? Let's cap this guy. Who is it? Don't fuck with our business. It's Shell business. They're like, yeah, be with you.
And confront Matt Stewart. As soon as they get out of the car, Matt Stewart draws a gun, fires at them, killing one of the Shell oil executives, to which Harlan Sanders then shoots him in the shoulder, drops him on the ground, disarms him, and waits for the police to come arrest him. Harlan is found innocent because it was self-defense, and Matt Stewart now gets convicted of murder and would later be assassinated in prison.
Hey, something wrong with his medulla oblongata.
And from here, Harlan Sanders is not shy about using
Okay, Sanders did that shit. Let's get... He paid somebody.
a firearm to get his way. There's another account where bootleggers were trying to siphon gas out of his pumps in the middle of the night, and he runs out in nothing but his underwear and confronts them and holds them at gunpoint until the sheriff shows up to arrest them. This goes on for a while. Very successful gas station. Eventually, Harlan ends up owning the gas station himself, at which point he kicks it into overdrive. Now he's going around tearing down signs from the competition and putting up his own signs instead. The exact thing that he was pissed off at doing, but now he's going to do it to other people. And then, just like what happened with him, one of the other rival gas station owners runs out to confront him, at which point he pulls out a gun and tells them to get back in their fucking car. And they do.
The medulla oblongata.
So as you can see, through a combination of great food and gun violence, Harlan Sanders becomes the most successful
Dude, man, Great Depression, everything shit, crime is happening. So might as well you do the crime. It's just capitalism. It's just business mentality. Come on.
gas station in the area, which is the most southern thing that's ever happened, ever. And by 1939, he's making more money from food than he is from selling gas, so he decides he's just gonna sell more food and quit selling gas, and he opens up a 140-seat restaurant and then eventually expands that business to have a motel right next door as well. Now, the problem he runs into here is being able to cook food at the standard that he likes to cook food at in the quantity that this restaurant is now demanding, and the big problem he has is with the fried chicken. Everybody loves his fried chicken. He's got a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. Everybody loves it. But the problem is real fried chicken is cooked in boiling grease on a skillet over the stove, and you just can't cook it very fast. It takes too long, you can't make bulk batches, and the wait times at the restaurant is just taking forever. So he develops a way to cook fried chicken inside of a pressure cooker, which still makes it taste way better than if you deep fry it. And this takes the cook time on his fried chicken from like 30 plus minutes down to 7 or 8 minutes. So he's got that figured out. Things are going great. He's got his new restaurant, his new motel right in 1939, and then karma steps in to try to shut him down again. 1939, World War II kicks off for
Oh.
America, and all of a sudden, America is now rationing rubber and gas, meaning less people are traveling, and his entire business is built right on the highway and relies on highway travelers, so he's not making enough money. But Harlan Sanders, not taking no for an answer, refuses to quit,
Shifted.
keeps running his motel and his restaurant business, but also takes a job in Tennessee, which is nearby, at a place called Oak Ridge, because the government has thrown up some new facility where they're making something, and they need somebody to come in and run all the cafeterias to feed the workers, and he oversees the cooking of 36,000 meals a day to feed all of these people working at this secret government facility. Does that through the rest of World War II. When World War II ends, that job kind of comes to an end. They no longer need this factory for whatever reason, so he goes back to his hotel and restaurant.
Yeah, so now people's gonna start like, yeah, all the rationing and all that's gonna stop. World War II stops. So he's like, anyway, and just go back to doing his thing.
Which everything's fine now because they're no longer rationing gas and tires and people are traveling again. And later we would find out that the Oak Ridge facility in Tennessee is where they refined all the plutonium for the Manhattan Project, which we use to nuke Japan. Which makes it kind of awkward that it's a Christmas tradition in Japan to order KFC, but whatever. So comes back home.
That's fucked up, man. Look, man, modern world is littered with American things. So anything you do, probably some things Americans gonna be in it. So like, you can't really fault Japan for that. Come on.
Starts running his restaurant and hotel full time, hires a new female employee, starts having an affair on his wife with her. Her name is Claudine Price. Shortly after that affair, he divorces his wife, marries her instead in 1947. Then in 1952, he meets another wealthy restaurant owner from Salt Lake City, Utah by the name of Pete Harmon. Pete Harmon tries his fried chicken and he's like, holy shit, this stuff is awesome. Can I franchise this? I'll buy the secret blend of herbs and spices from you. You don't got to give me the secret. I'll just buy it straight from you. Show me how to do this with a pressure cooker, and I want to sell it in my restaurants in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'll give you 4 cents for every piece of chicken that we sell. Colonel Sanders is like, sure, why not? So that's what happens. Pete Harmon starts selling Sanders chicken in his restaurants, and he needs to brand it somehow, so he's from a different part of the country, so he names it Kentucky Fried Chicken and gives it the slogan, finger licking good. And Harlan doesn't really see the potential in it. He just kind of treats it as like, passive revenue that this guy's mailing him a check every month and just
Holy shit, this is not something somebody is into it. He's like, fuck it, we'll call it Kentucky Fried Chickens and finger licking good. Even the slogan, just like that. All right. Somebody else did it. And the colonel is just like, yeah, whatever, who cares?
keeps running his restaurant and motel. And then his chicken becomes like kind of famous in the area. It's getting some notoriety. And the governor of Kentucky makes him a Kentucky colonel, which is like this honorary status in the state of Kentucky. And he's like, cool. That's great, whatever. So now he's Colonel Sanders. And then around the same time, he also started a side business where he was a midwife. I told you the story was weird. Yeah, he's just going around rural Kentucky as fucking Colonel Sanders, the chicken guy, helping people deliver babies. We don't know much.
Why? Does he have problems up there or something? You just hit it. You were named colonel like an honorary title. It's like whatever it is, right? Like in England, I'm pretty sure like lord or sir or whatever, right? Baron and titles like this are given. It's a big enough deal, which means you're known. Why you're known then? Because of your food. Just make it into business. Spread out your friend, the other guy is there. Be a partner. Spread out. Like just that's how business works. If you have an awesome idea that works, you just like expand. 1, 2, 4, 8. You just expand. What the fuck is midwife have to do with anything? Where'd that come from?
Much about it other than the fact that it happened and he delivered at least 8 kids and one of them ended up getting named after him. When he was later interviewed and asked, like, how did you become a midwife? What training do you have? How did you even know how to do this? He simply replied, and I quote, "Oh, I know a little about it." Apparently, if you've seen enough vaginas, you just kind of know what you're doing, I guess. You can put stuff in one, you can pull stuff out of one. That makes sense, right? I guess.
Checks out.
One of his personal acquaintances.
I don't think that checks out. Yeah, there are more technicalities behind it than just knowing about it. The whole process is like different than the process you would do normally, let's just say. How does that trains you into that doing? I don't even know. I guess he was just there like, okay, let's get to it. Push, that's it. I don't know.
Says later in life actually joked that he got involved in being a midwife because he was concerned that the kids were his. Which brings me to his next side gig that he started after being a midwife, which was being a vampire hunter. No, I'm just kidding, but the fact that you believe me for a second speaks volumes about this guy. Buh! Are you gonna talk about his pet crow? Buh! God, fine. Okay, look, Colonel Sanders has plenty of character flaws. However, there is a multiple humongous myths on the internet that he was like a prolific racist, ranging from he was a member of the KKK, which is not true.
Look, man, he could be a racist, 100% believe it. From which time he's from? Come on, man. Are we really gonna sit here and like really judge people that they were racist or whatever, like way back then, 100 years ago or something, 80 years ago, whatever? Yeah, people were kind of racist, like much more than they are today. Not KKK racist, maybe, but that could be one of those like exaggerated thing people do in Twitter, right? So was he racist? Is there some record of him being racist? Yeah, okay. See his face and that white hair in like Kentucky, like, come on.
True. Two, he stole the secret blend of herbs and spices from his house servant when he was a child, which also isn't true. The dude grew up extremely poor. He didn't have servants in his house in the 1800s. And then there's the myth that he had a pet crow in his original restaurant, and the pet crow's name was Jim. Get it? Jim Crow in the South in the 1950s. No, that never happened. I have searched and scoured. There is no historical evidence to actually prove this. There's just a bunch of blog posts dating back to the early 2000s that insinuate this shit. That's where it all started from. I'm 99%
Fiction
sure.
writers.
If on the off chance you have some historical evidence, let me know in the comments down below. I'll pin the comment if I'm wrong, but I highly doubt it. Colonel Sanders, deeply flawed, cheats on his wife, anger issues, not some crazy prolific racist, however. But that's not gonna stop karma from coming from him. So his restaurant and motel both burned down to the ground. Colonel Sanders, not taking no for an answer, rebuilds the restaurant, rebuilds the motel. Shortly after that, it burns down to the ground again.
If he has money to rebuild it once or twice, can't he just like make multiple of them and expand? Again, I'm just being numb here. Why the fuck would you not expand if your thing is working? I don't get that.
Colonel Sanders and Karma are now in a shootout, so he rebuilds the business a second time, and then the government comes in and reroutes the highway and completely shuts him out. That's it, game over. He goes out of business. He is 65 years old, and his only income is his social security check, and that's just not enough. And Colonel Sanders
Isn't the government a thing in place? Like, you can't just fucking do that. You can just shut a highway and rebuild another one. Like, what about the businesses that actually invested there? I'm pretty sure like there must be some laws or regulations about it, right? Because if somebody literally invested just because there's a highway, then highway shuts down, like what about their business? I don't know.
Like, not taking no for an answer. So he takes his pressure cooker and his secret blend of herbs and spices, throws it in the trunk. Claudine hops in the car with him, and he just goes from town to failing restaurant, and is like, hey, would you like to be a KFC franchise, a Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise?
Finally.
My chicken is so good, it will save your failing restaurant. And for the next 5 years, at 65 years old through 70 years old, he travels the country getting people to franchise his chicken. Him and his wife are literally sleeping in their car, and he's 65 to 70 years old the entire time. But during that 5 years, they get 200 people to franchise their chicken. 3 years after that, he's up to 600. Other things that happened during this time period. Him and Claudine go out to breakfast one morning at a diner while they're on the road trying to get chicken franchises, and he orders some eggs. The eggs roll up. They're not cooked right. He sends the eggs back. The chef says the eggs are cooked right and sends them back to him.
No, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong.
Colonel Sanders then proceeds to pick up the eggs, get out of the booth, walk into the diner's kitchen, and throw the eggs at the chef, at which point the chef rushes him with a kitchen knife, and Colonel Sanders, at the age of somewhere between 65 and 70, fends him off with a bar stool.
Medulla oblongata.
Another thing that happens during this time period is he's going to all these failing restaurants, and essentially they're just buying the chicken. They're not officially becoming KFCs yet. It's still mom and pop's diner, but they also sell Kentucky Fried Chicken there. And some of these restaurants are still failing despite the fact they're now serving Kentucky Fried Chicken. So he hires a guy to help these restaurants out, to go in there and show them how to run a restaurant up to the Colonel's standard to help these businesses thrive. So that guy goes in there, fixes a bunch of KFCs, makes some profitable businesses. Colonel Sanders pays him a bunch of money. He turns around and uses that money to start his own chain of restaurants selling burgers, and that guy's name was Dave Thomas, and he named his burger chain after his daughter, Wendy.
Damn.
I told you it's a weird story, okay? You were warned. Now, this is also the same time period where he starts really leaning into the Colonel Sanders persona that we know today. He starts marketing himself as Colonel Sanders. People start calling him and knowing him as Colonel.
I think it's too fucking late. He should have done that very early. When he was given the title Colonel, it's because of his food. Because the other guy was selling that in his other state already as KFC. Just do that in your own state and expand. He should have done that much earlier.
Sanders. This is when he started wearing the white suit that we all know today, because his kitchens and KFCs were so cleanly that you could work in the back of the kitchen and not get food product all over you. This is when he started dyeing his mustache and goatee all white and kind of like amping up the Southern accent and the Southern gentleman persona. Then the business model kind of shifts from just franchising the chicken itself and letting these random restaurants serve KFC to having a restaurant that was just what we know as today, a KFC, a place that just sells fried chicken. Keeps growing the company, has a ton of locations, and by 1964, he is 74 years old, and it's finally time for him to retire. People are wanting to buy the company. He doesn't want to sell the company because he knows they're going to fuck up the quality of his food. They're going to ruin it. He doesn't want to do it, but his family pressures him into it. He finally relents and sells KFC for $2 million, plus a deal to be a lifelong brand ambassador for $40,000 to $80,000 per year. Shortly after he sells the company goes public. As soon as they go public, now the company is more concerned about making a return investment for their shareholders than they are about putting out quality food. So they go in and just completely ruin the quality, just like he was concerned with. They quit using the pressure cookers and start using deep fryers. They go away from his original recipe and add extra crispy, which he was furious about and said was not.
Yeah, this is literally buying Toyota and removing Toyota's engine, changing his chassis, making somewhat monocoque chassis, and like removing suspension. And like, is that even Toyota Hilux anymore? This is food. You're changing whole the process. You just bought the name if that's the case.
Nothing more than a fried dough ball on top of a piece of chicken. And then this final straw was when they changed the recipe to his gravy. He was absolutely furious. He went inside of a KFC, tasted this gravy for the first time, threw it on the floor, and said it was nothing more than wallpaper paste. They just mixed tap water and a bunch of starch together and called it gravy.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm really sorry too.
Colonel Sanders then proceeds to spend the rest of his life until he's 90 years old talking so much shit about KFC ruining his recipes, they had to sue him to get him to stop. He was a royal pain in the ass for KFC until he passed away from pneumonia at the age of 90. And that is the story of Colonel Sanders.
Aww.
Yes, he was real. Yes, all of that is true.
So KFC sucks now? I don't know. I don't eat KFC. I don't know. What was that South Park episode then people must like KFC? Did they go back to his recipe? What happened?
True. Is he a good role model? Probably not, but you have to admire his ability to push through adversity and not take no for an answer. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch, maybe drink some Echelon, go check out Pepperbox. Links for all those are over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang, out. This started as a KFC video. It just turned into the Colonel Sanders video.
Yeah, he makes chain video. It would have been KFC video, but he's just like, fuck it, I'm making about him. This is the most absurd video I've seen, man. I didn't see that coming. Colonel being this insane. I mean, Colonel title is basically proper at this point. Alright, people, there you go. I thought it was gonna end the video with, oh, he was really successful, he became a billionaire, and his family owns the KFC now, shit. No, that didn't happen. He sold it for $2 million, and there you go. Alright, well, if you like my channel, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.